Good morning. This is Don the Idea Guy of DonTheIdeaGuy.com. It is Tuesday, November 8th, Election Day. And this is episode 41 of Running Through My Mind. The only podcast broadcast from a parking lot and sponsored by a coffee company because it's kind of like my favorite drink of choice. Our sponsor is Drip Joy Coffee, which is a subscription service that will deliver to your door Keurig-compatible coffee pots in some awesome tasting brews. Today's episode is brought to you by Dark Bean Daydream, which is delicious. Hold on a second. Let me take a sip. Oh, that's horrible. What is that? That's not Dark Bean Daydream. Oh, you know what that is? That's the coffee they had at the voting location, because I went in with Dark Bean Daydream and the line was wrapped around the building, and by the time I got done voting and I was long out of coffee, I went ahead and refilled my cup with what they had at the polling place. And it's a local roaster, so I know that it's local. It's got to be relatively fresh beans unless they've stored them there at the location forever. But it's watery, like they didn't brew it correctly. And, that's a problem whenever you're dealing with brewed coffee in variable amounts. A little bit of extra water or not enough water or not enough beans used in your grind, or the grind not being fine enough or coarse enough. There's so many different things that can go wrong when you're dealing with drinking somebody else's brewed coffee, that even if it's good coffee, you could still screw it up whenever you brew it. I mean, that's one of the reasons I like the K-Cup coffees. That's one of the reasons I like Drip Joy, is it's a portioned amount. The machine knows exactly what temperature to warm it up to. It knows exactly how much water to put through when it's brewing, and it arrives in my cup perfectly done. So I highly recommend Drip Joy. They sponsor the show. Let them sponsor your morning. All right, that's enough for the commercial today. I want to talk about not being a jerk. And today it's really important that you don't act like a jerk. Today is the day we get to exercise our democracy. We get to go and vote and have some sort of voice in who's going to lead us for the next 4 years. And for the most part, the people who were up early and lined up around the building were excited about that process. And if you're in the United States, you know what kind of drama we've got going on with the election this year. Nobody's got a favorite. For the first time I can think of, nobody has a favorite. And it is amazing. And people still turn out to sound off. I mean, they did not throw up their hands in despair and go, we're stuck with whoever we got. They came out to vote for whoever they felt would represent us best. And, I'm not going to get into a political discussion of who you should or shouldn't vote for. Let your conscience be your guide on that one, as to quote the great philosopher Jiminy Cricket. You're responsible for your choice. I can't be responsible for your choice. But we are impacted by your choice, right? And I'm not going to talk about who you vote for, but I am going to talk about your choice of behaving like a courteous human being when you're waiting in line with everybody else who's waiting in line. It is my tendency in dramatic situations where stress and pressure are affecting people to go to a humorous place. So I'll make jokes and I'll make wise cracks, and my goal is to make people smirk or smile or maybe even laugh out loud. That's kind of what I do. That's what I want to bring to my presence someplace. And I think there are just some people who want to make other people miserable. I mean, we were in line with a group of people who were very pleasant for the most part. Either they were silent and they stared straight ahead, looking at their phones, or, I was standing in line with my wife, happy, and we were cracking some jokes back and forth, and the woman ahead of us turned around and made some jokes with us, like she joined in. We were all in this together, was the spirit, right? But as you get into the polling venue, you realize the line is a lot longer than you thought it was even outside, because now it threads through the building. And people got mad. Like, they were impatient. Like, they had no idea there was going to be a line today. Or they had no idea that this was going to be an incredibly popular election to vote in, to participate in. And they're just pushing past people. In particular, I ran into somebody, or somebody ran into me, who was forcing themselves out of the door. You have most of the people walking into the area, the final destination, the gymnasium with all the voting machines around the edges, right? And yeah, it's crowded. And the doorways get extra crowded. And this person just pushed their way out. They're like, excuse me. And then as soon as they got out of the doorway, they just went, I'm out of here, and stalked away. To me, that was just amazing. And then I heard the volunteers who've had to deal with all these people all day long made a mention of somebody else. She was having a conversation with somebody that they knew in line, and she was having a conversation about somebody who was there earlier who she described as special, because they were upset that they were going to be 15 minutes late to work now. You know what? We're all going to be a little late to work today. We're all going to be leaving work a little early today to try and get to the polls before they close. We're all going to be standing in line a little longer than we want to today. That's a very small price to pay to get to participate, to have a voice. Whether you feel your voice is being heard at the volume that you believe it should be or not, this is your chance to sound off at some level. And the sounding off does not mean being a jerk to the person that's standing in line with you. So when you go out and you vote today, if again, it's a podcast, so potential global audience, right? But if you're in the U.S. and you're going to vote today, just don't be a jerk. I mean, say hello to people and make jokes and smile. For God's sake, smile. But just recognize that everybody's in this together. Nobody wants to be there and stand in line, and just get through it quickly. You'll be done. You'll cast your votes, and you'll be out of there. And you can say thank you to people. Say thank you to the volunteers. They're giving up their day to deal with people who are going to range from happy to unreasonably unreasonable. And they're going to have a rough day too. So make sure you thank them for volunteering. I spent a little time talking to an election monitor. I don't know what their official title is. I've never spoken to one of those people before. But he was an older guy, obviously retired, and he was there just volunteering as a monitor, an official monitor, not anybody who's been sent out to influence people. And he just said he'd been doing this for about 4 years, and this was the busiest and most well-run election location that he had seen. So, they were cranking through a lot of people, and they're going to do their best at your location too to get people in and out of there as fast as they can. So anyway, go and enjoy your right to vote. And take pleasure in the fact that everybody else is out there participating too, okay? That's it for today. We'll be back for a Wednesday episode tomorrow. In the meantime, if you need to get a hold of me, you can find me at dontheideaguy.com. If you'd like some information on the delicious coffee dark bean daydream that I mentioned at the top of the show, you can find out more about that blend and other blends at dontheideaguy.com/DripJoy. They are a sponsor. I've really enjoyed having them as the sponsor for the last few weeks. I think it's coming to a close here pretty soon. Maybe we can get that going. If you enjoyed hearing them sponsor the show, I think it's a good match, coffee in the morning when I'm recording this. If you think that it was fun, or you'd like to do some promotions where maybe you guys get some free coffee, send me an email. Let me know that you're listening. Send DripJoy a tweet and let them know that you were listening and you learned about them through the show. That's it. Enjoy your day. Make it a great one, and get out and vote.